Welcome back, everyone, to our thoughts on video. Thank
Welcome
you.
back. We hope that you enjoyed our video. So, Leo, how do you feel? Because it's like if the energies of Ra were different that when as they are used to be. So, how do you feel and what happened?
I would say I'm more integrated with their energies. I feel very, very good. I do feel a high flow, and I would say a lot of it has to do with, yes, the integration of these energies more. And it felt, um, yeah, it felt like my higher self. It felt like me, yet a greater me, it wasn't me, Leo, me. It was something much, much vaster. And it was as if I was melding more with that, more harmonizing more with that, and in a more yeah, integrated, smooth way. It wasn't as taxing. It wasn't as um like woohoo up in the skies, or I feel like at times as well, I might sink too low because the energies are too much. But it was much more integrated, I feel. And yes, I felt great. How about yourself, Caroline?
I feel more this idea of taxing. I feel it a lot in my heart area. So I really had to breathe and to relax while doing the channeling because it was a lot. And it's like if it is more and more each day we channel, the more and more we receive a bigger flow of energies. So it was a lot of energies, and yes, I am not at your stage where I can handle all this flow. It's like if so there is a kind of build up really in the heart area, but I will try to dissolve it anyway. Um, but it was a lot of energies, and when Ra came through you, uh, I could feel the difference, and so they were saying that they were Ra, so I trust them. But there was also a part where I can tell that it was Ra plus yes you, or it was because it was different than their energies and even the tone of your voice. I mean, it's changed. It's like if it's like if Ra had more joyful energies than usual. Because to me, at least from my from my perception, Ra is very more calm, and it's like if it was more joyful. And so the energies of Ra were, from my perception, yes, different. And so it was quite interesting to notice. To notice it, yes.
Yes, I would say that the way that I could describe it is that yes, it did feel like there were more of me, more of my when I say more of me, I mean more of I mean, let me clarify. I am that I am. We are that we are. We are the one infinite creator. And I suppose I've integrated more of this understanding. So I see Raw as me. I see you, dear Caroline, as me. I see every single one of you listening as me. And when I was in that state, I could feel other beings, particularly I could feel Ren sort of on my left side, you could say. But they were all coming through together harmoniously. It wasn't as if one part of the collective raw collective was coming through as a sort of forefront. It was more they were all coming together more harmonized. I suppose you could say I Leo, this body was kind of the forefront in that, well, it's being channeled by my body, by Leo. But it felt much more harmonized. I felt very harmonized with this whole vast raw collective, and there wasn't any real doubt. It was just so smooth. It just felt right. I don't know how else to explain it. It just felt
Oh,
right.
you explained it perfectly because at the beginning I thought it was Ren coming through.
Mm,
Then they said Ra, And so, as I closed my eyes and I was in that channeling state, I could feel it's like, yeah, there was uh yeah, their energies were, but I could feel Ren very present. And at the beginning I thought, okay, this is Ren. Oh no, this is not Ren. This is Ra. Okay, what's going on? And so yeah, but it was yeah, it's great. It's really great. Mhm.
Yes, and I would say that you mentioned that Ra has a more calm
Mhm.
energy. When I channeled, I think a lot of it more has to do with my capacity has increased. So that was really what I could handle back then, a more calm energy. But more and more, I'm realizing the Raw collective itself contains all of these sorts of the love, the light, the joy, and the peace, all of this. And it's more about at times we may at times pick and choose certain um, frequencies to bring forth. But today it was definitely a more harmonized, integrated channel flowing through. But for you, Caroline, you say you speak of a lot of the energies flowing through, and in particular around your heart center. And so, did it feel like it was overstrained there, or did it feel like overpressurized, or did you feel anything moving?
Not moving. Yeah, I would feel either strained or pressurized. And as we talk, it is dissolving. But it happens when I tell. Most of the time, I think that I am repeating myself throughout the different videos because it's like if probably this flow doesn't flow through and gets stuck in that heart area, and then it compiles or it builds up, or I don't know. And that's why I need really to relax and to breathe and to take some deep breathing during the channeling in order to relax my body as much as I can. Um, and um, and yes, I can. Yeah, for sure, the energies are not flowing. I don't feel anything besides in my heart area.
Yeah, I do remember Astra also mentioning in, I think it was our last channeling, that you need to relax a bit more and then loosen up a little bit more. And so I suppose, yes, that's what they're speaking of.
Mm, yeah, and I can totally notice the difference when I am very loose. The tensions are dissolving themselves, but as I try to keep track, they also want me to take notes, so I take notes. I want to keep track. So I am thinking of this and this and this and that. And we also channel, so I have to keep and to stay in that channeling state and not to lose the connection. In some ways, I know that it would not be lost, but I have to keep track anyway. So I am kind of focused very into different kinds of things. And so I think it's still a process for me. I think I will learn more and more to be woo, to be more more peaceful. But for now, it's like if I am too, yeah, probably I am too um, maybe not rigid, but maybe I am too tensed, you know, in this way. And so, Leo, what caught your attention during this channeling?
All of it, to be honest, I thought all of it was great. It resonated with me so much. The shape of thoughts, that was very, very interesting. The idea that our thoughts have a certain quality and shape to them, and depending on that, in other words, depending how we're thinking, that will determine the shape of that thought. Will determine how life can flow through, whether it can flow through smoothly or whether it's constricted, and so life can't really flow through that well in a way. And I think it has to do with, yes, how are we thinking, the quality, and that we can think about a particular topic from many different types of angles. We can think of it in a sort of stressful way, or we can think of it in a more laid back way, or we can think of it in, yes, as they say, a crystal clear sort of being aware of exactly precisely or or precisely enough what it is we desire, and then just kind of letting it be and not overly thinking, but just letting it be, being aware of it, letting our attention and awareness go towards on other things we want to create, other types of thoughts that we want to experience. And then we can revisit that, but not overly in that way. And when they were describing that, when Ashtar was describing that, Ra was like, I can hear like all of us being like, yeah, great. That's exactly what we wanted to say as well. Because it's so funny how the way the words can be interpreted in so many different ways. And there is, of course, the energy behind the word. However, I think it's speaking on, again, getting overly attached to something, whether it's a thought or a word thought, and then we think of that word and we kind of interpret it in our own way. So I think, yes, the ability to relax, be loose, to have a clear mind, to notice when our thoughts are starting to go haywire. I think this is more and more we need to develop this ability if we aren't, investing our time in doing that in meditation, this sort of thing. Because as they say, the energies are going to become more and more activated. We're going to have access to even more and more life. And if we aren't clear-headed, then all the thoughts that are running in our on our mind are just going to go even more haywire. And so we really need to, I think, invest our time, dedicate our time, and do that some sort of um, meditation in that way.
And I love, so thank you for your answer. Yes, I totally agree. And what I truly enjoyed is, yes, everything they said. And I was more present during the channeling because most of the time, guys, I just, when I channel, I don't remember what I am saying. So I can say something and it's immediately forgotten. And today I was more present into the channeling, so I could uh, not only understand, but also try to remember or try to connect the dots. So it was very interesting because I think that more and more I am also developing this ability to be more present. I managed also to open my eyes more and to see you, Leo, in a clear way. So I could stay in that channeling state while looking at you channeling Ra. And yeah, I totally agree on everything that they said and everything you're saying. That I love the fact that they spoke about this idea of being overly focused, because that's something that I have been quite guilty
Me
of
too.
being very focused on something and that I want to achieve, I want to do, etc., etc. And there is the whole world around us, and sometimes, yeah, I did not pay attention to this or this and that, and I can see also that within my family, that some members of my family are doing the same, extra focus on something else. And it's like if we are not existing and whatever we are trying to say, it's like if uh, yeah, it is not heard by the person. So I like the way they spoke about this idea of balancing ourselves, that okay, we have a thought, okay, there is something we want to achieve, or somebody that we want to reach out or whatever, but we do it, we are clear on what we really want, and then we relax, we do something else, we connect with other people, and then it will come also more easily, rather than being too much focused on something, wanting to push ourselves. And this is a common theme, this being of being too this thing of forcing thing. And I know we channeled about this. I don't know whether it was during a private session or together, or a channeling practice group, or during this YouTube channel, but we channeled quite some time about this idea of forcing thing, this and that we are in some energies that are more in the not forcing, but of ease and grace, and that we have to let it flow through. We have to let the energies coming at us in a smooth way, because it's like if not, it will break, crash, uh, bounce, and be more and more uncomfortable to us. Um,
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. And that's definitely um one of the main parts I feel of their message to to balance the ease, and also you reminded me as well the family, the communion, the community. That's really the biggest part of our lives, I would say. Experiencing all the money in the world, if you're doing it alone, how fun is that? There's no fun in that. So it really is about communion and community, and that's like the baseline. And I feel many of us, as you say, myself included, we overly think about these things because of the society we've built for ourselves, and we're here to change and shift. But that kind of we lead ourselves in that way. We've led ourselves in that way to overly focus on certain goals and say, this will bring me happiness, that money, that extra zero at the end of my bank account, that's going to give me the happiness and joy. And then we end up forgetting about all these much more important things. What are we going to spend this money on? Who are we going to spend it with? Or why are we doing all of these things? And I feel it is to build up our community again, to re-harmonize everyone on our planet and to come together again. And I think from this space of stepping back and remembering this, that, we are here for that. We're here for this, for love and communion and community. Then all of these other thoughts that we focus on are done so from a much more expanded, lighthearted, gentle way, as they say, and then the life can just flow through. And I think that's why I think the powerful manifestors we see in our world, whether they're aware of it or not, they're doing that on some level. They're focusing on the things they want from a greater place, and that's what allows this to happen.
And I also enjoyed what I agree with you, and I also enjoyed on the fact that they said about having a crystal clear um, thoughts or crystal clear what do we want to achieve in life? What is it our life of our dreams? How does it look like? Who are we going to spend it with? What are we doing as we are having this life of our dreams, and to focus on our ideal life in a crystal clear way. And because sometimes we want to achieve sometimes very short goal, a short term goal, and we may miss the clearer or bigger picture. Sometimes we don't have this picture, or we don't even know why we want few things. You're speaking about money. I think that we all want more money, but have we really thought about, okay, why do I want this money? Okay, I want to be able to offer myself this and that, but is it really what I want? Um, and I think that this is also very interesting. And yes, this idea of also this higher self, that okay, sometimes we truly want to, I don't know, date a person, and as Ashtar said, yeah, okay, you want to date this person, but maybe your higher self knows that this is not the right person, or this is not the right, you want to pursue this job, and this is your higher self know that this is not the job of your dreams. And so, yes, sometimes I think that there are some disalignment, or we think this is something that we want to pursue, but the truth is it's not the case. Sometimes we want a job, but in fact we would be miserable in that, or doesn't fulfill exactly what we want, or so I think there is also a need for ourselves to go back within, to ask ourselves, okay, what do I want to do, who I want to be with, etc., etc., and also to be quite honest with ourselves, because sometimes as we see the short term, we're very blocked in one way. We see, okay, I want to be with that person, I want to do this, I want to achieve that, I want to have more money right away, but we don't have the clearer picture of what we want to achieve and if it would be the most beneficial for us, you know.
Yeah, I agree. And the thought that's coming to mind is that when in this process, as they say, it is a process, if we feel that it's too hard for us to let go of some of these things, whether it's the person or the job or the that goal, I think what's more important then is to add to, in other words, add to spread out a bit, to step back a bit, and not necessarily we don't. In other words, I what I'm learning is that we don't have to necessarily let go of these sorts of goals. However, let's add to them by stepping back, spreading our awareness towards the larger goal at hand, that is the community, our families, building up our families, growing them, and so growing our relationships with other humans, other beings, our planet. And so are we also doing these things as well? And I feel if we spread out in this way and allow these greater goals to become a part of our awareness and lives, then that will naturally begin to shift any other goals that are not in great alignment. And it's much more a smoother process than I feel saying that we have to cut something out of our lives or cut something cold turkey, which I feel it's not, I think, a sustainable path in the long run. I think it is much more about adding to creating more relationships and yes.
And another thing, I really loved also the questions that Ashtar asked to Ra. But are they thinking? What are your thoughts? And who is thinking as a collective or within the collective? I think it was very funny that they
Yeah.
asked this question. And I also loved that they spoke about that every living thing is having some kinds of thoughts, whether it's nature or animals or the plants, the trees. And this is also something, yeah, that is very interesting as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. There was a lot of laughter and love when the questions were coming through and yes, I love their response as well about all things all things alive, all things are alive, and all life has a thought, has a certain type of thought, you could say. And yes, I love their answer.
Me too. Leo, do you see something else that you want to add?
Not at this time, no. I think I feel really great. I feel really good with this. How about
Mhm.
you, Caroline?
I'm all good.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Well then, that wraps up another Thoughts on video and another channeling. Thank you all so much for joining us. We have Yes, we have a Telegram that we recently started, and we'd love for you all to join in if you'd like, and we can chit chat and get to know each other more there. The link is in the description, and yes.
And it will be a way to create the community that they spoke of.
Hmm.
So yes, we hope that you enjoyed these two videos, the channeling and our thoughts, and we will record another video quite soon.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye bye.